Oh my, that transition. I believe
Oh,
we are live on the interwebs for all to see.
I think so. I think so.
Esports. We are coming to you with a fantastic episode tonight, chat. This might be the coup of the century. We have got two of the finest guests you've ever seen. But before we introduce those, I am the salubrious and sometimes silly Smickle 1989, a man so dense I technically count as a mineral. And with me, like that one?
It's just cheese every time. I mean, you're as old as a mineral.
I'm as old as a rock and as slow as a rock too, so there's that. But also with me, as always, my fine fettle of a man. Tall, lean, built for speed, not for danger. It is
You say lean,
Gizmo.
17 stone, but yeah, thanks. Excited for the show. It's going to be great. I love to get insulted whenever I come on here and host it. So yeah, it should be a great one. Got some great guests ahead. But yeah,
who is our first guest, Giz?
Oh, well, I don't know which order we're going to do this in, but I believe that they share something in common with me. They love the ones and O's of binary. Rob G, I think, is it?
Yes.
Hello, Rob. Welcome to the show. We were waiting for the graphics to catch up with us there. I believe, Rob, this is your first time on our show. Esports Wales Weekly has gone back a little while, but me and Gizmo have only been hosting it recently. But tell us a little bit about yourself, Rob. You precision man.
I would go. Well, I'm Rob Griffiths. I'm the program leader for games development. One of the program leaders for one of the many games development courses at Coleg Llandrillo, and also the program leader for esports.
A very prestigious title for a very prestigious man. I've got a little rundown of some previous things that you've done in your life. Basically, working in the industry. I believe you've previously worked at Sony and TT Games. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. We will delve deeper into that as the interview goes on. But as well as Rob, we have possibly a rivalry in the making from another university coming to us with Gower College. We have the ineffable Neil. Neil, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you. Yeah.
How are you doing today, sir?
Yeah, good, thanks. I'm Neil Griffiths from Gower College, Swansea. I'm lecturer in computing and the new esports course, and team manager of the GCS Owls.
Fantastic.
In the British Esports Championships.
That is fantastic. Well, the British Esports Championships we shall move on to very shortly, because there is some, there's lots of news and information about that coming out over the previous week. But yes, so working at the Gower College down in Swansea, that is fantastic. I just wanted to highlight this because obviously we try and get a little bit of information about our guests before we come onto the show, so we don't look like complete fools. Well, we usually look like complete fools, but this sort of helps us, it guides us a little bit. But I was reading apart. How did the idea of getting into esports at Gower College start for yourself and for the school itself, Neil?
It all happened when the deputy principal, Nick Brazil, saw a flyer from Esports Wales, and he said, "This is something we should be looking to get into." So I got in touch with Esports Wales. We did a little bit of looking around, and then I popped the British Esports Championships. So we decided to sign up for it, and we haven't looked back since, really, for the last, I think this is our third year in it now.
That's fantastic. But what I can take from that is obviously because it was a flyer from Esports Wales that myself and Gizmo can take personal credit for the course existing. Is that how you read that as well? Yep. Yes. So anyone from the Owls that is watching, you're welcome.
We owe it all to you.
as someone who's been a part of Esports Wales for about 9 months, yes, I take credit for 3 years ago as well.
Absolutely.
Of course.
I'm a man from the future living in the past. John's probably going wild in chat. He's like, I do all this hard work, I get none of the credit. He's a fantastic
It's
man.
fine.
It's great to have you both on. We will delve deeper into the comings and goings of the week and ask you a little bit more about yourselves and generally have a lovely old chit chat. But we need to just basically give a rundown of what's going to be going on this week. We have coming up some information about Team Yar in the Space Muffins 2 or Space Muffins Season 2 CSGO League, which might be my favorite name for any league. We also have a game with Team Yar again versus, I believe, Team Haven in League of Legends, which Giz will take us through. We have some upcoming, or we have some details about the upcoming Apex Legends Community Cup, which Esports Wales will be organising. All that and more coming up in the show. So we'll dive straight into our first section on what's occurring. Let's wait for the graphic. Come on, Graphics Goblin, you can do it. You can do it, Graphics Goblin.
I love that graphic. It's so good. Are you still waiting on the graphic? Or do you not see it?
Oh, there it is. It's there. It's there now. Yes. So, League of Legends. I apparently have frozen on mine, so don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Tell us
I think
all
you have.
Tell about all. It might just be me, like in real life, blue screening. Tell us all about League of Legends. Tell me everything, Gizmo. I know nothing about this.
It's okay. You don't have to know anything about the game. You can just tune in to watch me cast it, like many people did. Honestly, great series. They've been struggling recently. The last 2 games went to 3 games, which is good. But this one, they were able to get out 2-0, easy game. I did have problems when casting Haven before. I did get called a few things, but this time around, I was good, and I didn't say anything negative about them. However, they did get destroyed by the Team Yar pretty easily. So yeah, I mean, it was easy game. Haven just didn't know how to draft correctly, so they just didn't have any competitive way to come into the game. So yeah, just lost on all faces, and I should really not continue any more of that in case I get pulled off again.
I mean, it does sound like we have a slight bias towards Team Yar in this, and that's because we do. Tough luck. I don't have to be neutral. I don't cast the games.
I mean, that's up to you.
Is there any highlights from the game? Anything that we're seeing? I'm particularly interested with, obviously, there are a number of very high-profile tournaments going on at the moment. We've got the Dota 2 International. We've got the Worlds for League of Legends, and very soon the Manger for CSGO. And I'm always interested when these larger tournaments come in to see sort of how that affects the sort of the lower level and the sort of pub games that are out there. So are we seeing anything? Is there any shift in the overall meta for League of Legends as a result of anything going on the higher level?
There was, and then they decided to patch it so that we're not playing on the same patch as Worlds anymore. About 3 days into Worlds, they go, here, have another patch, you can play on something else, which is very funny. There's a lot of focus around MF at the moment, MF and Mumu and Leona, but in World so far, it hasn't been done very, very well. So, yeah, I mean, we might see some interesting stuff come out later on, but so far, it hasn't really influenced the level, at least not like Yar's level. But maybe in future, we'll see some of it.
That's something we can talk about later in the show. But yes, it's always interesting. But a fantastic win for Team Yar over Team Haven. Is it Haven or Heaven? Haven it is, isn't it? H-E.
I don't know, because that's not their full name, and I can't say the full name on here.
I know. It's double H, but we're not allowed to say the first word. They really should put some better filters on the team names. But anyway, 2-0 to Team Yar, and we will take that. We also have, as I alluded to at the start of the show, in the CSGO side of things, I believe we do also have a graphics for this in Space Muffin Season 2 Group 1, the first game of the season. Team Yar taking the victory 16-6 over, I believe this is Emrys Uprising. And that is just another fantastic result for Esports Wales. It's great to see our teams sort of getting off to a good start. Next week, I believe Team Yar are playing against a team with a much better name than the League of Legends team that we beat. In that we are playing 95 Vikings, which is just, it sounds intimidating, but let's hope that it's all bluster and no result. If you would like to keep up to date with Space Muffins League and how the Team Yar is getting on in that, give them a little follow on Twitter. I'm not sure if we've got the handle for them there, but it's Space Muffins _GG for the tournament, and I'll keep you up to date with who they're playing and results coming up in the future. That's about all the rundown for for the teams of Esports Wales this week. So we need to move on to much more community focus and wider Wales focus news with the results and the general comings and goings of the Student Champs, hosted and arranged by the British Esports Association. Now, we're going to throw this over because we've got two men here that know infinite. I mean, they probably know more than us about everything, but like in this particular topic, they are worldly and knowledgeable. So we will need a rundown. I will start with Neil. What has been the highlights of this week for you, sir?
The highlights, we had 6 teams, 2 Overwatch, 2 Rocket League North, 5 teams, and a Valorant. And all 5 teams won convincingly. Yes. I noticed we got the St. Vincent Sharks in the stream. We're yet to play them, but I'm sure it will happen soon. And so the big highlight for us was a bit of banter on Twitter when we were up against Rob's team.
I knew that was coming up.
I won't say the message he sent me when the draw was first done and he was up against us.
See, now I'm torn because I like a confident man. I like a man that'll throw out like, we're going to do this before doing it. But also, it is quite funny when it backfires. I've done it many times. I'm an overly confident human being with 0 skills, so I fall victim to it. Yeah, that's fantastic. It's fantastic to not just have the victories in the one sport, which I obviously it's a lot easier to focus on one game and sort of hone and be better at that and build a support, but to have victories across multiple titles, I think is testament to how you're running things there at Gower College. So I just, from me personally to yourself, well done. Take some pride in that. It's lovely to see. I like any success story about anything in Wales. I'm heavily biased. So
we do have a bit of a team myself. If I can call out Kieran, our social media manager, and Clive as well, and Bruce, our boss, who gives us machines and whatever we ask for. So there's a bit of a team behind us.
Fantastic.
I'm just the only one who's willing to go on a stream, really. But,
can I ask for a machine? I'd love a machine.
Yeah. Who do you say we need to speak to? Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce Fellows.
You better be in chat. Come on.
It's worth knowing that Neil's Overwatch team is incredible. As soon as we saw the draw, I was like, oh, God, here we go again. We're just going to get absolutely annihilated. And we actually braced our team and went, right, guys, these are amazing. You're going to struggle to win this. And our Overwatch team are good, but they're a few fresh faces, so they need some time, really.
Well, yeah, but no.
Go on.
Do you want me to go? Sorry, yeah. I didn't want to interrupt you. No, I always find that the best way to improve is by playing against people who are better than you anyway. So that could probably help them in the long run, getting that. Even if they do get beaten, they know strategies and stuff going forward, then it helps a lot, right?
We've got the vlog ready to review and things like that. So it was always going to be a hard game against Neil's team. We were well prepped and restrained, ready for the battering that pursued.
It's always good to see teams developing, and as Gizmo said, like a loss is part of that. Like if you win every game, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like you're obviously not playing at the right level. That's
why I moved to casting, because I was just winning every game, so I had to go somewhere else.
Oh,
it's just too good.
Yeah. You didn't fancy travelling out to the Worlds. You thought, do you know what? I'll just cast instead. Is that?
Well, I spoke to Cool JJ about it, and I was like, I'll let you play for TL this time.
I've seen you play twice, and you lost both times. So I'll take nothing from it. Don't know what you're on about. Yeah, so obviously with the Overwatch is a bit of big news there, and I mean we've got a bit of Overwatch news in general recently with sort of things around Overwatch 2 possibly coming out. But how did you fare with the Rocket League there, Neil?
The Rocket League, we won those games quite convincingly. I think we won like 18-0, 17. It was 48-1 and 43-0. I think the scores.
Fantastic. So better than Wales football team then. They didn't.
Yeah, I just did. I noticed on the Twitch that Shades is there, and I've got to say that Shades from day one has been our coach, and he's been fantastic helping us out, getting the team ready and sort of getting us focused on how we play and stuff. So that's been really good. He does VOD reviews, and I use him a little bit for the esports course as well now.
Oh, that's fantastic. Big shout out to Shades there. I would like to ask, as we move through the results of the week, I would like to ask a bit more in depth about how the teams are organised and what type of things go into the preparation for matches and sort of the fallout of matches and what have you. But that's fantastic. And also a victory in Valorant, as you said. Now, I'm awful because I always switch between calling it Valorant with a hard A and Valorant with the sort of softer. So I apologise when people are like, "He's saying it wrong." I scattergun. I just use both, and one of them hopefully is correct. But a big win there. So we'll throw it over to Rob. Can we have the results for yourselves for the week that has just been?
We won one. One Rocket League team won. One Rocket League team just narrowly missed out on the win. They lost in the end. A very tough game. Our Overwatch team, sadly, are in the hospital currently and bandaging their wounds. One Valorant game didn't get played, unfortunately, because we're in the process of rearranging, and the other Valorant team just lost. Just better team synergy. The team just worked better as a unit, and we're already prepping. We've got scrims. We're already taking on ready for next week. Prepping. What can we do better? I think the teams are actually scrimming this afternoon, so they're all full steam ahead.
That is fantastic. Yes, well, as I said, it's going into it. How long do the championships last? What is the sort of the projected timeline? Obviously, with games having to be rearranged and what have you, that it can alter the timelines. But what's the projected timeline?
It's Christmas, I think, isn't it? November, Christmas.
Valorant is in 2 splits. Yeah, it's 2 splits. One is, I think I'm right, Rob. One is up until Christmas, and then there's the split in January then, which is the Division 1 and Division 2. So you've got to finish in the top 2 of your table to go forward.
Fantastic. Well, I'm gonna say up front then, if it is finishing around the Christmas time, if any Welsh team makes it through to the final, I will send you a signed photograph of myself dressed as Santa Claus. How does that sound? Is that a good enough incentive? Yeah,
I get one.
Absolutely not.
I need it for the wall here. I need some.
It's double price for you.
I think we should have one for the classrooms.
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean,
we can arrange that. We can arrange that.
It's the only way I'll ever get back into a classroom, that's for sure. I'm not the brightest human being.
Don't say. Sorry, that was a bit harsh.
Savage. Yeah, so obviously we've had the rundown there. Is sort of good results all round, a bit of a mixed bag in some cases, and a bit of a stomp from what I'm hearing with Overwatch. Which I'll be honest with you, I'm so bad at Overwatch. Like I'm just terrible. I don't know how to prioritize. How should I be pushing? What should I be doing? I'm awful at it. I'm much more slow strategy games myself. I'm an old man gamer, but I was you can tell, but I was a community moderator for Unit Lost and Stylosa, so I did have quite a sort of high exposure to the Overwatch scene, and the fan base are pretty enthusiastic, shall we say. So I got a lot of respect for anyone who play a game live in front of people, because you get told when you're doing things wrong, it's, people will point that out to you.
It's a very PC-based game as well.
Oh, sorry,
Heavily.
I was just going to say, it's a very PC game. I know it's cross-platform's just been enabled. Not making excuses, but the mobile players were playing on controllers, and we're like, you need to learn how to do keyboard and mouse at this, competitively, because that obviously does affect things. There's no aim support or.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, crossplay is a fantastic community feature. I think that is wonderful for whatever platform you're using. But at the highest level, and not always towards PC, but there is usually an advantage with one over the other. Certain games favor controllers, certain games favor keyboard and mouse. So
wasn't it that like Fortnite, there was like a load of pros that went to controller, and then all of a sudden like half of them found out they were cheating or something using like an exploit with it? I don't know, but I always prefer mouse and keyboard. Better aim wins games, and just so much more mobility with it, and just works nicer.
That's fair
we
enough.
have got two controller guys on the Overwatch, or three of our Overwatch players using controllers. Obviously, they struggle without the aim assist, but they do quite well with it. So I didn't think people did.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to individuals as well. Some people are just, and I suppose background in sort of what you grew up playing. Some people just feel more comfortable with one over the other. There are certain games even now where like I've played them. I'm back from the old console days before the internet existed, but there are certain games even now that I've played on both. I've played on console and I've played on PC. And I still prefer using the controller. It just feels more natural. It feels like it's nostalgic to me. So if you're more comfortable with it, perhaps that lends to you playing better. I don't know. That would be for someone perhaps who lectures in the art of it to know more than me. So
I think it's personal choice, really. I think the aim and stuff, if you're going to be playing like hit scan and stuff, I think you just need the mouse and keyboard really to get the accuracy.
It's split the chat. It's split the chat down the middle. We've got a lot of people saying controller and a lot of people saying keyboard and mouse.
Can we get a one for keyboard and a two for controller? Just.
Oh, you can tell you're a caster. Look at you. Can I get in the chat?
Hey, okay, we run like those voting things all the time when I do it. So.
See, now I'm torn because our boss is saying keyboard and mouse, but a person that I respect very dearly is saying controller. So I don't know. I don't know what to go with. But
I think
what are your guys' personal? So go on,
controller.
Rob.
I'm controller. I'm a controller
see.
user. I think the problem with Overwatch is there's no aim assist. You got Warzone. I play Warzone quite too much, but there's. Obviously, keyboard and mouse at long range is always going to win, but if you're up close, the keyboard can't keep up. Controller players will always dominate at close range. So, it's
I get that sort of. Yeah, it does depend on playstyles, right? Like they always say, like sniper rifles is much better on mouse because of the aim, but if you're shooting an SMG short range, I guess if you're trying to do spins and stuff like that, it's a lot harder on a mouse because you have to stop at a certain point unless you've got like 10,000 DPI and you twist it slightly and it snaps the neck of the guy. So it depends on the speed that you're going. I play with mouse and keyboard about 90% of the time, and then I'll go to controller for like driving games or like if I'm just like gonna put on my TV instead and just relax sort of thing. Otherwise, I got mouse and keyboard all the time.
That is completely fair. I mean, as I said, there's certain games I favour the controller over, and certain games where it is impossible to use. Like I play a lot of strategy games. I like RTSs and those type, and controllers are no good for that at all. You need the multiple keybinds. You need mouse and keyboard. But there we go. So yeah, that's talking sort of in general about it. But what I would like to know, you've alluded to with with the teams, rewatching VODs and what have you. How much preparation goes in before going into these type of matches? Like, obviously you've got a good ecosystem based at the schools where you are, where you've got a lot of like-minded people physically near one another that can come in and have a chat. Whereas like people playing at home don't have access to that type of thing. We may be doing our team chats over Discord and what have you. Do you think there's an advantage to a physical location where you can step in and do this type of preparations, or am I reading too much into it? What do you guys think?
It's a tough one, because I think obviously in terms of college, we can't guarantee that they're going to be on site that day. And not taking into account their backgrounds, a bus fare can be quite expensive over X amount of time, especially if they don't work. So I think with Discord and Google Meets and things, you've got quite a lot of flexibility to do things, hybridly, have people on site, have people remote, and I think that's my personal approach to, as a team, what works, find out what works for you as a team, and adapt with the individuals really. I think it's great to get in a call and be able to chat to them, as well as have people on site. It's a weird world at the moment, I think.
Do you ever whip out a whiteboard and then point a camera at it just so they can see?
Yeah, we do. We tend to do VOD reviews. We do VOD reviews, but it's mostly scrimming against other teams. So we use Discord. Get everybody to meet up at a certain time. They're normally 6-7 o'clock, and we just try to scrim against sort of certain K teams, like 3.5 K teams, so that we know they're going to be competitive and going to push us and learn from the mistakes. Play against as hard teams as we can find, so that we can develop and become stronger.
Fantastic. So, I mean, that pretty much answers my question, in that having that mix, the ability to do both, playing a key role there, which is lovely to see. I mean, obviously, back in my day of going to college and school, we didn't really have these type of communities to sort of rally around. It's lovely to see it developing in Wales. It's very much something that, taken into the future, I can see us producing a lot more world-class players. We're a small nation with a small population, so to place anyway against the bigger nations is always, for me, it's quite heartwarming. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it always cheers me up. We will mention an international Welsh player later on in the show when we move on to our sort of patch notes for the wider news. So we've obviously that's the prep, and you do the VOD reviews. Do you do any preparation in sort of doing deep dives on opposing teams? So if you're playing in a cup and you've got, so for example, we've had the match between the Overwatch teams from both of your respective schools. Did you do any review or any information dive on the opposite team before playing them, or is that something at this level that isn't helpful to you?
We do. I do. I know we got St. Vincent Sharks in the chat, Coventry. If they're going to stream anything, I'll be all over it trying to watch it. So we do try to, but sometimes it's hard to know if they're not against perhaps the strongest competitive team. You don't really know if that's the strategy they're going to use or not. So it's kind of hard to tell, but I will try to watch other people's VODs and other people's streams. And what's been good about this is that we've met so many other colleges like Coventry, St. Vincent's. We've made some good friends really, and we do chat and we do sometimes scrim against each other as well. But if it gets too competitive, we don't want to scrim against each other because we don't want to give anything away as well. Ooh, so it's a difficult one.
Yeah, there's that. Don't give away any of the trade secret aspect of it, I suppose. What about yourself, Rob? Is it something similar for yourselves, or is it a case of you just focus on yourselves and the rest of the world can do what it likes?
Do you know what this? I actually asked the question in the British Esports Discord about tracking stats the other day, in terms of Overwatch after being annihilated by Neil. And the one thing we do is we handle our esports through a Discord server, and which is really organised thanks to one of our former students. I think he's in the chat, Narowski, Nathan, who's an astonishing Discord admin. And I'll screenshot the team name and the teams we're up against to say, look, this is your Overwatch team, this is your league team, etc. And we put the onus on the captains because it's our time at this point, and it's trying to offload some of the stuff onto them, make them responsible. I don't know whether that's just the way we work. We get the captains to try and handle that. I know with League of Legends, the first thing the captain will do is open it up OPGG and have a look at the last 10 games, what champions they're playing. Overwatch is a tricky one because most accounts are private. But Valorant, League of Legends, it's straight on there. Like what are they playing? Who are their operators? Can we find any Coventry stream? So straight on that, like Neil said. Certainly for against them as well, Christ, because they're another fantastic team to battle against. And there's a few big ones that you've got to jump on.
I'm worried that we may have seen the very last Coventry stream now, that we've given away that we're watching them for the.
I was just about to say.
Down the account.
I was just about to say my tactic for streaming stuff. If you're practicing for a tournament, every now and then just put in the odd troll game in there. Just really throw them off base.
Real high level fake outs. I like it, Giz.
Yeah. We may or may not have done that.
yes. We used to do it with League, so the day before a tournament, you just play a new champ completely and just make sure it filled out your top 20 games. So then when they scroll back down, they're like, "Oh, he really likes this champion. He wants to play it today." And you're like, "I never had any intention of playing that champion at all," but it works. It does work. It's the mind game.
I don't know how I feel about it. Sounds like cowardly tactics. It sounds like to me.
People play on Smurf accounts as well, They'll train and play on Smurf accounts, and then they'll just load onto their main account, or vice versa. And you've got to take a little bit face value, but at the same time, it's sort of like, okay, we need to have tactics ready. What can we do? And like I said, we put the onus on the captains. Here's the team you're facing. This is who these are the tags. You handle that. If you need anything, let us know, and we sort of leave them to it. Because it's time was the big problem for us.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like that with any organisation. When you're trying to organise communities, you really need the community members to take lead. You need people to stand up and sort of take a bit of onus and a bit of responsibility. On that, I would like to throw to you guys: how can people get involved in both of your teams? What's the main route by which you can recruit people in? How can they get involved? How can they be part of the team in any capacity? It doesn't just have to be player, supports, anything. I'm going to throw it over to Neil first. Tell us the best route to finding you in real life and playing with you.
Yeah, we get Bruce Fellows to buy us players from. No,
that's my tactic too. Money talks. Well done.
Yeah, no, what we do is we send out tons and tons of junk messages to our students throughout the college, asking, "Do you want to try out for the Rocket League, Overwatch, Valorant teams?" And then I just hope and pray that people come back to us, and then we just add them to our Discord server then, and they start playing and practicing, and hopefully good players emerge, and that's how the teams evolve then. So we just send messages out through the desktop to all the college students asking them to join.
Is there a big presence on social media? Do you put a lot of stuff out with things like Twitter and Instagram to try and draw people in, or is that something that to look for in the future?
I have been told by Kieran, our social media manager, to mention that the Vancouver Titans did congratulate us when we beat Rob's team. So, so we've got a lot of, and he's a brand ambassador for Dallas Fuel as well. So the social media has taken us a long way, and we're going to start trying to get some Facebook stuff out as well to recruit more students.
Unfortunately, it is. Yeah, can we just plug Gizmo's Twitter? He needs all the help he can get. Where's he to? He's done
Honestly,
it.
I do.
I'm terrible. I'm useless at it. Unfortunately, it's the way the world is going. As we saw with the Facebook blackout, and then just everyone was on Twitter for 24 hours. What is the main Twitter page for yourselves? Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, it's GCS_Owls. And Esports Wales has got a guy called Dinky, who's brilliant at Valorant, and he's in our college, but he won't play in the team. So if we can put some pressure on Dinky to get signed up.
I will personally chide him. I will wait for him because I know I've seen his name. I've seen him floating around in our Esports Wales server. As soon as I see him in a voice chat, I will jump in and I will berate him until he joins. How does that sound?
Yeah. How can he be an immortal player and not in the team?
I will do something about it. But it would be very biased if I didn't offer the same services to Rob. So please tell us, how can people get involved with you? How can people find you and play with you in real life?
So we do pretty much the same thing. I send an email to all members of our team because we're quite a large area now. Where my area is computing and creative industries is I believe the term. So I send an email to staff. They tell their students, and then they get back to me. I just keep it simple. And then I invite them to the Discord server. We keep track of who's interested in what game, from people who know the game, who are newbies. And then we invite them along to the room, say, look, let's play some games, see how you get on. Are you enjoying it? Do you want to enter the championship? Yeah, okay, wicked. Here's the captain. And then leave them to it. You know, they train, they have training sessions, they scrims, and they pick the team and they take it from there, really. I've been asked this year, is anyone outside of the area allowed to join? And I'm like, no, not at the moment, because the way our squad has grown, we've up until this year, we've only had 1 or 2 teams. And now I've got 6 teams and 35 learners, and I'm already a little bit stressed on the matter.
I can imagine.
So just trying to maintain that growth and support. But who knows next year? Who knows? I might have the entire college involved in some way or form. But it literally is just an email, blanket email, spam them, best way.
Fantastic. Have either of you considered flyers? Because apparently that worked for us. So
yeah, we are going to do flyers on Monday, hopefully.
I said it as a sort of semi-joke, but it turns out flyers are actual king. Well done.
They do work.
I fully appreciate it. Sorry, I forgot to ask you there, Rob. Where could people follow your? Where's the best information if they are looking social media wise to try and find you? Is there a Twitter handle or anything like that would be best for them to look at?
I mean, there's my Twitter handle. There's the Games Dev Twitter one, and there's the College Llandrillo Dragons one, which for the life of me I couldn't tell you what it is.
I will find the Dragons one and I will post it.
Is it not attached to our going live tweet, I think, on the Esports Wales one?
That is mine, fantastic. I believe.
Oh, well, either way, go check out the Esports Wales one. Give some likes to that. I put a nice little comment at the bottom of that one. Enjoy it.
I'm trying to plug our guests, and you're trying to plug yourself, Giz. This is treason.
Hey, I need to make it. I need to make it. When I started doing this talk show, I had 1 follower, and I think I'm now on to like 50. So it's working. It's working.
I mean, you're welcome.
Thank you.
It's because you come up before me alphabetically when they search. That's how.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just because I'm younger. That's what they like.
That is true. That is true.
Well, it's all about the duck. It's all about the duck.
It's all about the duck. Esports Wales doesn't really have anything on the HyperX duck. That's it is what's winning us. So yeah, I mean, I know that John has been our fearless leader at Esports Wales has been going out to a lot of places. I think he's visited Swansea and I believe Aberystwyth universities and really trying to big the scene up there. Getting the information out. But I'm more than happy to plug the college information alongside, because as when we were alluded to it earlier about people streaming and scrimming against each other, that is the best way for any organization to grow. To be insular and to try and hide information and to try and sort of protect yourselves ultimately won't work in the long run, because the more isolated you are, the less information you're getting from everywhere else, and people will overtake you. So, but I think everyone should follow everybody on the social medias, stay up to date with everything, talk to each other, build that community, build a network, play against each other, because ultimately, that's the most fun thing you can do. You know what I mean? So that's my 2 cents on the matter, and I hope that a lot of people feel the same way as me. Some people are a bit more curmudgeonly than me, but that's the way it goes, hey. So I think that's
And I heard that Rob's commissioned a battle bus to come down and visit us.
a battle bus. I'm unaware of this battle bus, but I'm now intrigued and excited. I have no skills. I'm terrible at playing, but I will stand on the front of the bus like a sort of mascot. What are the things on front of ships called? I've forgotten the name. They have like mermaids and things sculpted to the front of the. I'll do that. I'll just strap myself to the front of the bus. It'll be like something out of Mad Max. I'll wear a full suit of armor. It'll be glorious. We won't win anything, but it'll be funny.
Can we make this happen? Because if I come down in a coach, I want that to happen.
If we can,
I just want to see
clear it with health and safety, I'll strap myself to the front of the bus. You have my 100% guarantee. That can be the photo. That can be the signed photo that everyone wins. Any Welsh player to win if they get through.
It's called a figurehead, by the way.
It's just called a figurehead. Much as I am to this show.
By the graphics goblin, so you know.
The graphics goblin in with a win. Fantastic. Well, speaking of I mean, he Googled it. Let's face it, he Googled it when we weren't looking.
It's fine.
Speaking of Graphics Goblin, I think it's time we throw over to the next section of the show. Graphics Goblin, patch notes. Oh, smooth, silky smooth. So patch notes is the section of the show we just talk about the wider gaming community, the come-ins and go-ins, things that have interested our guests and interested ourselves. There's a few things that have been announced in the past week. Since the last show, I think one of the more important ones to mention is, and this is LOL based, so I'll throw it over to Gizmo for his information. But there's actually a Welshman at the Worlds.
Yeah. I mean, Alfari for playing for TL, he didn't make it quite when he was in EU, so he went to NA, and they made it pretty easily. So. It's looking pretty good. He thinks he can get. He's put out a post saying that they're going to make it to. I think it was almost semis or quarters, which is sort of rare for an NA team. I don't think TL's made it out of groups so far. So, I mean, power to them if they do make that, because that would be an amazing run to see. And a lot of people got NA quite low in their standards, but be insane to see if a Welsh person can make it past that. You know.
I'm just going to say that because of my heavy bias. I reckon he's going to win the whole thing, and I don't mean his team. I mean specifically him. He's going to 1v5 win everything. Are there 5 on a team in LoL? I don't know. What's
12? 12.
Do either of you, Neil, Rob, do you have any interest in, or have you played LoL at all?
I manage the league team in our lot, because the way we play is my colleague Lewis handles Overwatch and Rocket League. I handle League of Legends and Valorant. So I do jump in occasionally, play with the team, and have a laugh. It's so overwhelming at times, though. There's like 156 champions.
I think it's at 160 now. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
How do you keep up with that many characters and abilities? And then, and last year we had a game on the Wednesday, and they changed the store like an hour before we were playing. So I don't know about Neil, but we were literally booting up the game just to see the store. And the
I had that.
Oh my god!
I had that happen as well. I was playing in the University League, and it literally the first changeover was the only time we've ever lost to Swansea was that day when it swapped over to Swansea University, because we had no idea what to build because they didn't release the items until like 2 days beforehand, and then they did the whole shop change as well. Crazy, but they got a cheeky win. It's all right. We'll give them a freebie every now and then.
I'm fun. I like to see Swansea do well, even if it is basically cheating. What about yourself, Neil? Do you have any interest in League of Legends at all? Is it something you've played?
None at all. Is the honest answer. But we've got, and I've put the adverts out in the college, and I just can't get a team. I don't know why. We've never been able to get a team.
Well, maybe 2 people on this show can help you out with that. How does that sound, Giz? Do you want to just spread the information and generally make yourself useful for once?
I'm getting out there, you know. But yeah, honestly, I mean, League it's one of those things that I don't think there's too many players like in university or college at the moment. I think it's sort of hard because there's like some universities that have like 6 teams and other ones that like struggle to get 1, and it's quite a rare game nowadays. I don't know what's happened. but it is quite a high skill leveled game. So
It's got a huge
Fantastic.
following.
yeah, it's ridiculous. Wolves had
I think
more games
because
in
of the nature of the game, much like Dota, I think a lot more people enjoy watching it than they do playing it because it's real stressful to play. that's my view on the on it all. Other sort of wider news, a big announcement for, I mean, maybe one of the OG esports, in that Smash Bros finally has the final character. It's been released, Sora from Kingdom Hearts, a game I've never played. I'm not. Oh, the graphic there is. I'm guessing that's not
Kirby.
Sora. That's Kirby. Even I know that. Kirby's Wild Adventure, or whatever the game was called on the Game Boy. Yes, we've got Sora. Has been introduced to the game. I've always wanted to try and get into Smash, but much like with other games, like fighting games of any kind, I'm too slow and there's too much going on the screen. I literally can't follow what's happening. So. Yeah. Do you guys play?
We have got a
Smash is
top.
disgusting.
Yeah, we got a top Smash player. He's called Mr. Sneaky. He plays in a lot of events up in Cardiff, and he's won quite a lot of tournaments. So he does really well when he plays.
Fantastic. I'll try and seek him out on Twitter and get him to teach me his ways. I mean, we've got a little bit of information about the Dota 2 International. The first two teams have been eliminated as of the time of the recording of this show, dropping out in 17th and 18th place, both earning themselves $100,000 for coming last. That's a good old price.
It's all right.
That's not bad, is it? I think top prize for Dota 2 is 18 million this year. That's insane. It's insane.
Is it the highest profit, highest winnings out of any esports game?
I think it is, and in part because of obviously the way they raise money through the community and via the Battle Pass, but obviously there wasn't an international last year, so I'm not sure if some of the money rolled over sort of to inflate it into the largest prize pool. But I think it's 18 million and change for first place, which is, that's a lottery win. So.
I'll take last place. I'll take last place. I'm happy with that.
I mean, I'm Thunder Predators were the first team out. I don't think they won a single match. Obviously, they played their hearts out. They did really well. I'm being facetious about it. I congratulate anyone who can make it onto a world stage. They'd have put all the effort and the prep in. But when you think about it like that, they came into the tournament, didn't win a game, and walked away with $100,000. That's not bad going. We do need to mention I skipped over it and I could see Craig typing away here in our chat. Speaking of tournaments, Esports Wales Apex Community Cup coming up on the 14th of October, which is next Thursday as of the recording of this show. We will be hosting the community tourney in Apex Legends. Teams of 3 will compete in 3 rounds to win a cash prize. And that's what reminded me when I mentioned cash prizes from Dota. I was like, oh, we've got a cash prize coming up. I think it's the same amount. Is that right, Giz? I think it's 18 million to win.
Yeah. John got a lot of funding from that. I don't know where, but he has those deals and stuff. So
I think it's 18 million Roblox. So I think it's 80 million cash prize. I think for the top 3 teams, I think for gold, silver, and bronze, there is a payout. I believe it's around £75, but I could be wildly wrong on that.
Just not take it out of his pay. It's fine.
Yeah, just take it out of my pay. Anyone can enter. Please head over to the Esports Wales Twitter account, which I'm sure someone will post in chat for us, because if I post links, I get banned because I'm not even a mod in this chat, to find out more information on how you can sign up. Ooh. Oh, there's a graphics. The graphics goblin strikes again. Well done. And on that subject, we also have a live giveaway going on at the moment to win a Team Yard jersey. I'm not sure if we've got the graphics for the jersey. Graphics goblin.
Oh, he does.
There it is.
He's on it.
That is my favourite jersey from the lineup of the Esports Wales stuff at the moment. I love the colouring of that. That's a super cool jersey. All of the apparel is great. It looks fantastic. Armour have done a good job, but I love the colour on that one. So the giveaway is live. It's been going on for about a week. The winner will be announced on the 17th of this month, so there's still time to enter for a chance to win that lovely Team Yard jersey. You can also go to Team Yard's Esports Wales Twitter account to find out more, I believe that'll pop up. And if you don't like leaving things up to chance, and you've got money burning a hole in your back pocket, go over to armour.gg and just buy one. If I may have to do, because I really genuinely love that shirt. So that's more
A lot of
about
work's gone into them as well.
things. A lot of work. You can tell that a lot of care and detail. It's the so not just the coloring, but like sort of the branding across all of the items. It really like matches up and it looks lovely. Particularly the elite jerseys, and the coloring on the Yar jersey, I think are spot on. They are le pois. So look out for those in the future. We will announce the winner on the 17th of this month. With that, is there anything you guys want to bring up? Anything you want to talk about? Any news or gossip coming up? What have you got coming up in the following week? Go on, Neil. Go first.
We haven't got too much. Just the usual games on Wednesday. The other thing I was going to say is I'm noticing in the chat there's a few people from Trinity St David's there. They're ex-students who we're still in touch with and still play regularly with in Overwatch and a few other games. So it's nice to see that they're still around, and that's a good thing that esports does. It keeps you in contact with older students, and even after they've gone, you still keep in touch with them on the scene and stuff.
That is the massive. That is where social media comes into its own for me, in things like Discord and Twitter, and being able to stay in touch with people. That does become a lot easier than the old sort of carrier pigeon that I had to use. Yeah, that's great to see, and that is good news. Rob, have you got anything specific coming up you'd like to talk about in the coming weeks?
I've actually got a match this Wednesday against John's team, John's Tidful Titans. We have a Rocket League match scheduled, another sort of Welsh derby.
Fantastic.
Always
do
a
you
good
want to
game
give any
versus Merthyr Tydfil.
Do you want to give him some grief? Yeah, easy win for yourselves. Do you want to give him some grief?
Pre-flame.
I'll do it on Twitter.
I'll check his Twitter. He's plugging it already. He's plugging it.
I'll retweet you. I'll retweet you, son. Don't worry about
it. I'm taking a leaf out of your book, Gizmo.
Yeah.
Last time we battled John's league team, it's 1-1 to both of us. We've won one and we've lost one against them. This is Rocket League. I don't know which squad it's Basilisks to. I'm confident that our Dragons or Basilisks will kick their butt. I'm confident.
The Basilisks are coming for you, John. Did you hear that? Up in Merthyr, locked away in the deepest, darkest valleys. He doesn't know what's going. He doesn't know what's coming for him. I just like giving him grief. So there we go. Fantastic. Well, that's great. We do have one small announcement we'll brush over. We'll talk about quickly. Unfortunately, Esports Wales Weekly is losing a member of our team. The person that we insult constantly, and it may have something to do with that, is moving on to greener pastures. The graphics goblin, Craig X, a phenomenal human being who's done a great job on the show, is moving on to. He's been set free. Basically, he's chewed through the rope I used to leash him to the desk. He's discovered the taste of real food, and he's decided he wants more sunlight. So he's leaving us for greener pastures. I can't blame him at all. I believe to pursue his passion, which is stop motion animation production, which is super cool and really interesting. I wish you all the best in the future, Graphics Goblin. I'll only say your name once. I'm never calling you Craig again. So if we could get, I mean, just spam some love in chat. Just put some hearts in. Do he's been a great member of the team, and better than my co-host anyway.
I just don't need to flame me like that. Just get that back slap on the way in.
Well, you suck. So that's an announcement for us. That is the long and the short of the news this week. We will have some information about Esports Wales coming up. Possibly to do with open positions, who knows? We will see what the future holds for us. But in the meantime, as we round up all of our weekly news episodes, we've gone through the gritty, hard-hitting topics. We've done the feel-good topics. We've done the special interest topics. We have to round out with the weather. Gizmo, what's the weather like with you?
Well, I got told off for saying dark last week, so...
Because dark is not a weather type, that is a time of day.
So I'm gonna go with cold and windy. So
Cold and
is that
windy,
closer?
or Wales, as it's more commonly known. Rob, what's the weather like with you, my friend?
It was actually, considering we're Wales and we just live in cold air and wind and rain, it's actually really sunny and hot. I'm actually quite surprised.
Fantastic.
It was lovely.
Neil, what's the weather
Yeah,
like with you, my friend?
it's mild, nice and mild.
Mild. So we've got everything from cold, mild, and hot, which I'm sure gives all the chat all the information they need to dress accordingly. I, as always, don't have a window in here, so I can just tell you that weather is definitely happening somewhere in the world. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Best of luck to both of you going forward. I will be following the teams. I will be tweeting things out. I'm useless on social media, so please forgive my awful spelling and terrible attempts at being funny on the internet. With that said, I think it's time for a freeze frame and bring the show to a close. Freeze frame for the chat.